fighter, and I'm here to give some anecdotes. I don't need to use a gas in your lighter, I've enough heat to light my smokes. Well, I don't do propositions, and I don't do hanging around. Well, I hope you're feeling safe here, see the bullet holes.
Hi guys, this is Gail with Sportinarium, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Tasha Boys, or Tasha Doesn't Like Boys. How are you doing? How's things?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, you recently fought on the 24th of April. It was quite a big event because it was free on Fight TV, which is huge. A huge platform for you. And it was an all-women's event, so quite a historic event. How did you feel about all that? I mean, did that add any pressure to you getting into your fight, all the kind of things?
Not really. I mean, I'd already boxed on that show behind closed doors, so I mean that wasn't nerve-wracking at all. And obviously, I'd already been in the ring with Nicola, so I was quite comfortable with doing that. Obviously, there was a few opponent changes, which was annoying because I had to drop weight. I had to get right back down to weight within a week.
What had you?
So that was a bit stressful. I was supposed to be boxing Sophie Varley, which was
that's right,
flyweight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And obviously Nick is a lot lighter, so I had to drop down a bit. So
how difficult is that? I mean, with a week's notice to have to cut weight that quickly.
I mean, so the thing is, I always used to struggle putting weight on. Lockdown, I was at my heaviest. I was only 55 kilograms. But then to have to lose it in a week, for me, I've got quite a fast metabolism, so it wasn't too hard. I just had to cut out on my snacking because my diet's quite bad. But yeah, I did feel a bit drained because I also drove all the way from York to Scotland as well the night before, so I was a bit knackered, but it was all good.
How long was the journey? I mean, that must have been 7 hours or something.
Yeah, about 6 hours. I didn't bother stopping. I just thought I'd just get straight through. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. It's a nice road, so it's pretty straight.
So talk us through the fight. You'd already mentioned it was a rematch for you with Nicola. You guys had already fought the year before. But there was an issue, wasn't there? Did you not? You get injured? Was it your elbow?
Yeah, so I'd warming up on the pads, I'd overreached my jab and I'd caused some sort of twinge in my elbow. And then obviously trying to throw my jab in the fight, it was just causing more pain and I didn't want to make it worse. I thought, so my corner was just like, well, we'll just retire here and get you sorted. And then she obviously accepted the rematch.
Well, that's it. It's no point in injuring yourself further. It's better to get out there and then you can get back in quicker, isn't it? So how did you feel about the fact that you were going to get the rematch? Were you wanting that rematch because of what had happened last time?
As soon as it got called, I shouted over, and you can hear it in video. I shouted, "I want a rematch," because I felt comfortable in that first round with her. I'm just annoyed that it didn't last longer this time.
Right. So obviously the fight didn't go your way, but you've mentioned a couple of things there, obviously, that could be contributing factors. The fact that it was a long journey, plus you had to cut your weight really quick, but it ended with the body shot. What was it like? I mean, because there's no crowd there, we can hear a lot better. Yeah. So, I mean, it sounded pretty brutal, but what was it like for your end?
I'm not joking. Like I said to Nicola, I felt my soul literally leave my body for a few seconds. I've never taken a body shot like, and I even said it was a beautiful shot. You could see she got all the weight behind it. I mean, I'm not making any excuses.
Yeah.
But I didn't do any strengthening and conditioning. I mean, you can see on socials, Nicola's constantly training. She's got a gym behind her, whereas I'm quite an independent boxer. I just do my training where I work at David Lloyd's. So, it is all down to me, and it is my fault for not conditioning. Because I think if I had have done, I probably could have handled it a lot better. But yeah, it was a beautiful shot. All credit to her.
Do you feel like I was when I was looking into you, Tasha, I saw that you only really started boxing a few years back.
Yeah.
So do you feel that puts you at a bit of a disadvantage when you're coming against girls who have got extensive amateur backgrounds?
100%. I mean, that last fight, that was my 21st fight since starting at charity to becoming pro. Everybody I'm boxing, like the Maria Cecchi, who I boxed in Italy, she's an Italian champion. They've got absolutely loads of fights behind them, loads of ring experience, and you can see that with the footwork and it. But I just take every fight as a learning curve. I'm I like just getting in there and learning. So
well, that's what I was going to say. Like, so you're kind of learning on the job. So I suppose to you, is it maybe more important just to get the rounds and the fights under your belt than it is getting in there just trying to get the victory every time? Like, you know,
of course, yeah. Because I mean, obviously, I know their level. They're quite a couple of levels above me. But I will get in and I will fight and I will, you know, I'll do my best. Like I say, it's all experience, and from each fight, I take something and I learn from it. Because I'd improved from the previous fight with Nicola on even just a few steps on my footwork. I could see the difference and I could feel the difference. So it's all, you know, it's all paying off.
So what about this time round with your fight there? Is there anything that you've come away from that with? Besides not to cut weight in a week?
Well, so obviously because it was supposed to be Sophie Varley, I'd worked a lot more on just, my problem is I back into the ropes and I don't go to the side. So we'd literally just learn on step back, pivot. And I felt like that did work a lot with Nicola. So it's just, I'm just going to continue working on my footwork and my head movement. I think my power's there. My technique is always going to need improving, and that's something I'll continuously work on anyway. But yeah, footwork is a big thing I took from that one. Okay.
So I want to let people get to kind of know you a bit more who maybe don't know. Tell us, you'd mentioned that it was about 3 years ago when you'd started boxing. You're from York. You mentioned that you kind of do a lot of your training on your own where you work at David Lloyd's. So, and you'd briefly mentioned the charity fights. So can you just tell us a bit about how you get into boxing for those that don't know?
So, two girls from York lost their parents in the Manchester bombings, and somebody local decided to put a show on for them. It was all sponsored by William Hill. You know, it was a really big deal. And a local journeywoman called Carly McKenzie, she was coaching them all. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to jump in on this, because I'd watched a boxing match before with my friend and thought, oh, I want to get in the ring. Obviously, I did it. The technique, there was no technique. It was a proper scrap. It was best fight at night. And she said, you know, you've got something in there. You know, there's a fighter in you. So I did a second charity fight. And then she was like, look, if you want to train with me in my back garden, and I'll just take you on unlicensed circuit. So then I just worked my way around there and then progressed as that.
Progressed from there. So when you ended up winning it, you've missed out. There's something quite important. You did pick up a title. You won the super featherweight British Challenge title while you were doing the kind of unlicensed stuff. What was that like?
I did, yeah. That was really good. I'd boxed Aga down in London a couple of weeks before, and I'd said by that point it was probably one of my best fights that I had. Felt really comfortable, felt like I was progressing, and obviously she knew what she needed to work on. And it was a good scrap. She did come, and she was very on her front foot coming for me. But yeah, I just had to grit down and get the job done. But I'm quite a humble boxer. I don't like to big myself up.
Shout about what you've done, but that's a huge achievement, you know. So
well done. I'm proud of it. Thank you.
So how many fights did you have on the unlicensed scene?
What's that? So about 17, something like that.
Right. And what made you decide to change over? I know that you were approached actually, weren't you? Were you not approached by boxing?
Yeah, I was. I was approached by Giles at the BB Fight Club, who's got loads of international boxers, and because he's mates with Carly, you see, so he turned her over, and then she said, right, well, you know, let's take Tasha, because there's not many girls at my weight, is there? You know, because I'm quite light, so he was like, I'll get you on board. So yeah,
right, okay. So what about COVID? Because obviously COVID's had a huge impact on, you know, on everybody, but you know, especially athletes. You know, a lot of boxers struggling to get fights and stuff. How did it impact for you on your kind of training and your venturing out into your pro career?
So the first lockdown, I was smashing it, because obviously it was lovely weather. I didn't mind going out for a run and like training in garden. This second time, I did struggle a bit. I did start to lose my motivation, especially because I was fighting like in Italy and stuff. I was getting to peak, and then fights were getting cancelled.
Yeah.
And then it was knocking me, and I was just like, well, what's point? Because I'm getting getting really fit for nothing, and I'm just knackering myself out. But I mean, now the gyms are open, it's, I'm back and it's easy to get motivated. So it was a struggle though.
So are you training in the gym, and are you training, when you say the gym, are you talking about like a boxing gym, or are you talking about the Lloyd's, the David Lloyd's gym?
Yeah, just David Lloyd's gym. Because obviously I don't have any sponsors or anything, been an independent fighter, I don't ask for anything. So, and this is it's not an excuse, but like when you see on socials and you've got girls that are at the gym and training 3-4 times a day, because they're probably getting their membership for that gym paid for.
Yeah, of course.
I've got stuff I've got a dog to pay for, I've got a car to pay for. So I do struggle to pay for a boxing gym membership. So
yeah, of course,
I just do everything I can in David Lloyd's, because they've got a bag and stuff. And then Carly does my footwork and my pads and, all technical stuff like that. So yeah. Okay. If it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't be where I am. So
probably wouldn't be doing it. Talk to us a bit about, like, so what was a typical training schedule for you, being that you independently, although you've got the help for Carly, kind of train yourself? If you've got a fight coming up, say, and you've got plenty of time to, you've got a couple of months, you've got a fight coming up. How do you step up your kind of training and preparation for a fight?
So it's basically I'm constantly doing cardio, because this is really naughty, but I'm a smoker. So I have to. Right. So if I don't,
you've got to keep that up.
So I just constantly tick over. The closer to the fights I get, the more I step it up and I peak. Some weights, I don't do much weights because I don't want to put too much weight on. So yeah, it's mainly just cardio. Because boxing is fitness. So as long as I've got my fitness, then I can do all right. But I do need to start doing my sit-ups and stuff, because I am getting taken out with one of them again.
What about your family and friends in that? What do they think about you boxing? Because you've not been doing it that long, like you've only been doing it a few years. So, like, were they surprised when you get into it?
No, not really, because I used to be a little rebel at school. I did used to like a scrap. So that's what I've always had an interest in, getting into boxing, because obviously you can't go fighting on streets. But yeah, my family are all behind me. There was no surprise there that I continued after the charity fights.
I had kind of read a wee bit about your school days and stuff, and that in your first day, I think, did break a girl's nose or something like that? So people kind of saw you as the toughie about school and stuff. But also you saying that you've, now that you're a boxer, now that you box, you find it really beneficial for like your mental health, your mind and stuff. And that you saw a difference like over Christmas when you hadn't trained for a few weeks. So would you say that it's really helped you in that side of things?
Oh God, 100%. Like I've said before, like if I walk training, I can slowly start to feel myself just deteriorate. Whereas getting out and just smacking a bag, it just obviously it releases your endorphins, and it just makes me feel so much better. And I think it's the routine as well, like going to work, then going training. I like to have a steady routine, and obviously COVID just messed that all up. So yeah.
Okay, so what would you say to anybody who was thinking about kind of either getting into the unlicensed circuit or thinking about turning over pro? What would your kind of advice be for them?
I mean, just keep your head down, stick at it. Anything's possible. I mean, look at me. I've come from charity 3 years ago to boxing on pro. So, it is achievable. If you've got the right mindset and the dedication, then just stick at it and get it done.
Well, I was going to say that. Would you say there's certain attributes that you need to have to be a boxer?
I think you've got to have a nerve to get in the ring, because not everybody can do it, and not everybody, likes to take a punch. It's, it is a lot in your mind. You've got to be able to take that mentally as well, because, there is a lot of defeats, and sometimes it did used to cut me up. But, it's, if you're a strong person, you'll be
you learn from those though, don't you? And
100%.
I think there's this certainly within men's boxing that I see a lot, is there's this kind of, I call it the Floyd Mayweather effect, where people seem to measure a boxer's success on whether or not they've had a loss. And when you think about it, it's silly, really, because some of the greatest of all time have had losses and come back.
Well, of course, yeah.
So much better with it, you know. So it's losses are all part of learning. And I think that, you know, and I've seen it so many times that people get this renewed hunger after they've had a loss. Yeah. You know, so
I mean, I'm sure it can get pretty boring winning all the time. And you know, because you end up thinking you're the bee's knees,
you don't need to improve.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. I mean, you end up fighting YouTubers.
Where the big money's at. Do you have any hobbies with boxing? I know that you used to play football, but are you into any other kind of sports?
No, not really. Just the boxing. I do quite enjoy running when it's nice weather. I do like to push my boundaries because I never used to run before. I've got a foot injury from when I was younger, so I found it difficult. But then the more I started running, I quite enjoyed pushing it further and, you know, getting to a longer distance. And I did want to try and do a marathon, but I think I'll leave that a little bit longer.
Do you actually follow the boxing? Do you watch the boxing?
I do watch it now and then.
People I spoke to don't, but
I never used to. It's only recently that I started watching it. But I'm not one of these that'll pay for them. I just watch it on YouTube next day. So I'm not a massive boxing fan. I'll pay for AJ, but you know.
Yeah. Are you an AJ fan then?
I am, yeah. I don't know if that's just typical or...
Do you think we're going to get this fight? The AJ Fury fight?
I hope so. I think Eddie's pushing for it and he's going to make really a lot of money off it. It'd be stupid not to. Like they say, it's, you know, it's two British unified fighters, so hopefully it goes ahead, but we'll see. We'll see.
So you'd be backing AJ then? AJ over Fury?
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably put a bet on Tyson as well, but yeah, I do want AJ to win.
Yeah. So what's next for you then? What's next? Are you hoping to get out a few more times this year? Or?
Yes. So I was supposed to be boxing in Barcelona this month, but they've just pulled her out for some bizarre reason. I don't know what. So I've not heard anything else. And then Atlanta is also in the pipeline. This has been going on for a couple of months now. Yeah. So just waiting for contract to be sent over and signed. So that's June time. And then I've got Colchester in July. That's a rematch with Kirsty Biswas, who I boxed on the unlicensed circuit.
Right, okay.
But I lost against her. But I did box Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday was her fight. So I was a bit knackered.
Wow.
No excuses, but you know, I've got to put it out there.
So how does that work for you then? Like if you're going to go somewhere like Atlanta, you mentioned you've been to Italy. How do you have to fund that yourself?
No. So it's all paid by their promoters.
Right, okay.
And then obviously my manager just takes a cut out of my wage. But food, hotel, flights. The only thing that I end up paying for is just petrol and the car park at the airport, but that's about it. I can manage that.
Okay. Right, so I wanted to ask you some quick fire questions. They're just silly questions, right? That I ask people, nothing really to do with boxing. But
right, okay.
And I'll just ask you, it's just to get to know you a wee bit better. And just give me the first answer that comes to your mind as quick as you can, right?
Right.
Right. Name something that annoys you.
Oh, shit, hell. Cats meowing.
Where's your favourite place?
York.
Okay. If you had a boat, what would you call it? Okay. If you could change places with a TV character from a TV show, who would it be? Just for a day, who would it be and why?
Tracy Baker, just because it looked like a right laugh.
Okay. Favourite colour?
Blue.
Favourite snack?
Crisps.
I was going to ask you about pets, but obviously you've got the cat there, so we know you've got a cat.
Got two cats and a dog.
Two cats. What kind of dog have you got?
Border Collie.
I've got 15 chihuahuas.
15?
I'll send you a picture, right? People never believe me, but I do.
Wow.
Okay, so finish this sentence. To be happy, I need love. Okay. Name a movie that's made you cry.
Marley and Me.
Somebody said that the other day as well. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only have 3 things, what would you have with you?
A lighter, baccy, and crisps.
Right, people always come up with mad things for that, right? But there was only one boxer who I asked that to who actually says a helicopter with a pilot to get back up the roads, which I thought was quite smart. Right, something off your bucket list.
Going a helicopter, hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon, okay. Favourite song?
Spandau Ballet Gold. Don't know why that took me forever.
And if you could be any superhero, who would it be and why?
He's not really a superhero, but I'd be Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I've got one of my dogs is called Harry Potter. I'll send you a picture of him later.
How do you remember them all?
It's just, people always say that, but it's dead easy. And last thing, describe yourself in 3 words.
Sensitive, hard but soft.
Okay. Well, listen, it's been really nice getting to know you a wee bit better. And I hope you get some solid fight news soon. And maybe we can catch up again and kind of
100%,
find out what's happening. But I appreciate your time today.
Aye, thank you very much.
Best of luck with whatever comes next, and we'll catch up again. All right, thanks,
thank
Tasha.
you, Annie. See you later.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.